You're back Santa Cruz watching the Real Estate Beat with Gene Bleeker and Jason Reno. And our goal is to give you the best real estate knowledge that our city has to offer. And that's why the Beat's so successful.
Yeah, it's been a blast so far. I think we've had some good success with it.
Well, you make it a lot of fun.
Well, I appreciate that. You don't do too bad yourself.
Thank you for that. Thank you. All right, so we've got a real estate guest, first time on our show, and I'm excited to hear what he's got to say. Would you like to introduce him, please?
I would love to. We have Dan Andrizzi with Keller Williams VIP Properties. Welcome to the show, Dan.
How you doing?
Pleasure having you here.
Dan,
Gene?
love having you on the show.
Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
I don't know how much he had to pay you to get you on the show.
A lot.
A lot. And he's still making payments.
Yeah. My wife got a little frustrated, let's just say. She's like, what happened?
Dan Andrizzi, that's what happened.
There you go.
All right, so you got your questions ready?
I sure do. You want to start off just telling us a little bit about yourself and
Sure.
your team that you work with?
Yeah, absolutely. Love to. Again, Dan Andrizzi with Keller Williams VIP Properties. Real quickly, thanks to you guys for having us on. Jason and Gene, I've known you guys both for years, and you're both best of the best. So thank you very much for the invite. I've been in real estate in this valley for close to 10 years, and grew up in this valley, know it like the back of my hand, and really enjoy working with both buyers and sellers, helping them get the most bang for their buck, so to speak.
Very cool. You mentioned buyers and sellers. Let's talk just about buyers for a second. What are your top, maybe 1 to 3 things? What's the top 3 things that you would tell a buyer in today's market?
It's a great question. One of the most important things for either a buyer or a seller is to make sure that they're represented by a strong agent. You know, we saw that with the market downturn a few years back, a lot of our colleagues got out of the market, and as the market hasn't been improving, we're seeing a lot of fresh faces and a lot of new blood come into the market, and that's great, but you need someone who's experienced enough to be able to guide you in the right direction. Next on that list would be to work with a great, strong lender, someone whose name is known in this valley, and who, when the buyer's offer is presented to the seller recognizes, or the agent recognizes someone like Jason Reno, and is comfortable with that buyer's loan. So strong agent, strong local lender would be my 2 tips for a buyer.
Kind of like says, have a good team surrounding you, basically.
Great team.
But he really emphasized on the word experience. I think that was really key in what you want to convey, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's, it's a high-risk game, and then there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of buyers who have the greatest intentions in the world, but maybe they're not as qualified as they think or as their lender thinks. And as a seller, the worst thing you can do is take your home off the market for one of these well-intentioned buyers who unfortunately can't perform. So you need the agent in there and the lender in there who's going to be able to vet them for you.
Great answer.
What about on the other side of the transaction? If you're a seller in today's market, what are a couple tips for sellers in today's market?
And if you're a seller, it's even more important to have an absolutely super strong agent. The days of putting a sign in the yard and waiting for the phone to ring are over. And again, you really want that strong agent who is familiar with the other party, familiar with their agent and their lender, to be able to properly vet them and make sure that as a seller, if you take your home off the market for this person, that they're going to be able to perform. And that it takes a lot of work up front and a lot of experience, but you get the right agent who can do that for you, and it makes the transition much smoother.
That's a great answer. Great answer.
I couldn't agree more. And then what about going into 2014 this year? What are your expectations for the real estate market, maybe from both the buyer and or seller's perspective?
Yeah, that's really an interesting question. I did a show summer of last year, 2013, about June, I believe, where I said I felt that and if you remember last year, we had anywhere from 20 to 27% appreciation in the Santa Clarita Valley, depending on which part of the valley you were in. So a super strong year, and I remember saying that I feel that the appreciation grade is going to be lessening a little bit. And here we are in 2014, and we're still in an appreciating market, and we are seeing the days on market extend a little bit. We're seeing the multiple offers for over list price dwindle a little bit, and all that points to that appreciation curve coming down off 20% down to maybe the 6 to 8%. This year is my, I'll go on record as saying that's what I'm anticipating. That's what my numbers show.
He knows his numbers.
On record.
Very
yeah,
impressive,
absolutely.
Dan.
Hold me to it. So that's at least what I'm anticipating, and we'll see if that plays out. But so far, all the signs show that that's a good number.
And on the buyer side, with interest rates staying at historic lows, it's still a great time to buy?
interest rate are at historic lows. I mean, your minimum qualifying income, and again, this is Jason's department. Just a couple of numbers that I have. Your minimum qualifying income to get into a median priced home in this valley is just under $90,000 a year, as opposed to 5 years ago is $150,000 a year. So that combined with your low to mid fours interest rates, I mean, it's a great time for a buyer to get their foot in the door and get themselves some property.
That's got to get people really excited hearing those numbers, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great time of year for both sellers and buyers to get into a more balanced, healthy market. And we have some great listings right now that we'd love to show some of our audience that kind of go, you know.
Would you like to share with us?
I absolutely would.
Please do.
Yeah, we have a great one actually. There's a few I'd like to tell you about. One in particular, depending on how much time we have, is actually in Winnetka in the valley, and is in a great little part of Keswick Street, right off Ingomar. This house has been upgraded from top to bottom. It is gorgeous inside, from the distressed laminate hardwood flooring, fully repainted inside and out, pool home, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, and the upgrades are just immaculate on this property. It's priced at $515,000. It's about $20,000 to $25,000 below the comps, and you won't find a nicer house in Winnetka at that price.
That's amazing.
So that's our favorite in our office right now.
That's when you're really pushing through social media.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good for you. Any final thoughts before we take a break?
We'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Just appreciate the time to get on with you guys. If any of the audience has any questions, I would love to be able to talk to you and to sit down with you and chat about what your goals are and if we can help you out.
You know what? I need some help. I want to talk to Jason on the next episode. Will you stay and help me out? Do some Q&A with this guy?
I'd love to. Jason's
Awesome.
the man.
Perfect. Looking
All
forward
right.
to it.
So Santa Clarita, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.